Grant Pershing, and I've been farming for a good portion of my life. I worked in area farms and out west for about 15 years. Came back to Indiana and worked for some people, and in the meantime looking for my own farm. John Byers, who owns this property, was gracious enough to rent me the land, and came out here, looked at it, and really liked what I could envision it being, and here I am now. That field over there is 3 acres, this field's 4 acres, but you know, I don't obviously farm on all of it, but I gradually grow each year, and maybe I'm at the place I want to be right now. You know, I run a CSA, so I'm probably looking at about 35 to 40 different things, including flowers, and pollinators and stuff like that. During the high part of the summer, I grow a lot of buckwheat in just beds that are open, or areas that are open. And then in the winter, I do different winter hardy cover crops throughout most of the farm. Well, it brings in bees, number one. The bees love the buckwheat. Number two, it once you mow it down, it replenishes the soil with different nutrients and minerals. And I generally am a no-till, low-till farm, I would say. I try as much as possible to not deep till, to keep the microbiology high in the soil. I do use a tiller, but I have a wheel on the back of it, so it just gets the first inch or two to make a good seed bed. Every year I buy loads of compost, and so far I've calculated that I've put 125 cubic yards of compost on the beds. Generally, when I turn them over to a second crop in the summer, I recompost. I mean, obviously I start with compost in the spring, turn them over, compost, turn them over, compost. So it's, the soil structure is really fluffy and nice. I really like root crops because of the mystery of what's under there, you know. I really like spinach, and I like brassicas a lot, you know, broccoli, cabbage, stuff like that. I also do some value-added sauerkrauts and stuff with the cabbage, so it's a dually purposeful crop for me. Yeah. One thing is, I'm at a apex of 2 hills that the water wants to run into a sinkhole over there. So with that process, I do a lot of swales and berms to maintain as much water on the farm as possible and to control the flow. I believe strongly in biodiversity and planting as many different things as I can. Soil biology is extremely important to me because, you know, they say in a teaspoonful of soil there's 1 billion different microbes and bugs working for you. So I did not grow up on a farm. I'm a city boy originally, you know. And I traveled around the country looking for things to do, and it always seemed like there was farm work available, you know. So I just started traveling around, working on farms, kind of caught the bug, and came back to Bloomington and worked on several area farms. I'm not certified, but I am all organic. The certification process is a little pricey, and I'm not sure that, you know, face to face with customers, they ask you, and so it's the same thing to me. I hope to make enough money to survive still, you know, make a little more money to do some other things, maybe do some traveling in the winter and stuff like that. I'm gonna start with someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, I've learned so much just doing rather than through books. And so I've learned through books, but the actual action of doing is probably more beneficial than just getting out there and doing it, because you'll make a lot of mistakes that you've lost a whole year until you can make that mistake again. I think my biggest mistake in a long-term thing is farming for other people for too long, because now I'm feeling like I'm getting old and can't do the things I could do when I was 30, you know, so I probably could have started this about 10 years ago and been happy. Favorite part? Being my own boss, you know? Yeah, that's my favorite part.